While you are sitting there listening to this, a silent broadcast is screaming from the pocket of your jeans. Every 3 minutes, a tiny packet of data leaves your phone, travels through the air, and hits a server owned by a company you have never heard of, in a country you have never visited. This isn't just a GPS coordinate. It is a digital breadcrumb that tells a story about who you are, who you spend time with, where you sleep, and even whether you are currently standing in a doctor's office or a place of worship. By the time you finish your morning coffee, your precise location has been auctioned off in a high-speed digital marketplace to upwards of 3,000 different entities. We like to think of our phones as private devices, but in 2026, they have become the most sophisticated tracking beacons ever invented. The surveillance isn't coming from a hidden microphone in the wall. It is coming from the weather app you downloaded 3 years ago and the flashlight tool you forgot to delete. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the massive location data industry and showing you the exact steps to turn your smartphone from a tracking device back into a private tool. To understand the scale of this, we have to look at how the data brokerage market actually functions. Most people assume that if they turn off location services in their main settings, they are invisible. But the reality is much more complex. In 2026, companies use what is called inferred location data. Even if your GPS is off, your phone is constantly scanning for nearby Wi-Fi networks and Bluetooth beacons. Every router has a unique digital fingerprint, and there are global databases that map exactly where those routers are located. When your phone sees 3 different Wi-Fi signals, it can triangulate your position within a few feet without ever touching a satellite. This data is then bundled by apps and sold to aggregators. These aggregators don't just want to know where you are right now. They want to build a pattern of your life. They know that if you go to a specific gym 3 times a week, you are a prime target for high-end supplement ads. If you spend time at a car dealership, your digital profile is instantly flagged as someone ready to take out a loan. The amount of money involved in this is staggering. Location data is the gold of the digital economy. In 2026, it is used for everything from urban planning to hedge fund speculation. If a hedge fund can see how many phones are in the parking lot of a major retailer on a Tuesday morning, they can predict that company's quarterly earnings before the CEO even sees the numbers. Your personal movements are being used to bet on the stock market. But the darker side is that this data is almost never truly anonymous. Researchers have proven that with just 4 time-stamped location points, they can uniquely identify 95% of individuals in a city. Since your home and your workplace are fixed points, it takes an algorithm less than a second to attach your name and social security number to that anonymous device ID. So, how do the hackers and the brokers get this data in the first place? It starts with the permissions you grant when you install an app. We have all seen the pop-up asking for location access. Many apps will tell you they need it to provide local features. But in reality, that weather app doesn't need to know your floor number to tell you it's raining. They use what are called SDKs, or software development kits, provided by data brokers. The app developer gets paid a small fee for every user they track, and in exchange they embed a piece of code that quietly siphons off your location in the background. In 2026, the record numbers of data leaks have shown that even reputable apps are often sending this information to third-party bidders without the user's explicit knowledge of who those bidders are. The first step to stopping this is a deep audit of your app permissions. But you have to go deeper than the surface level. On both major phone operating systems, you need to navigate to the privacy and security section. Look for location services, but don't just look at the list of apps. Look for the system services menu hidden at the bottom. This is where your phone hides the trackers that it uses for its own internal purposes, like compass calibration, location-based alerts, and significant locations. Significant locations is particularly invasive. It keeps a history of the places you visit most often, effectively mapping your home and office. While the manufacturers claim this data stays on the device, the history of security vulnerabilities suggests that any data stored is data that can be taken. Turn these off. Your phone does not need to remember where you slept last night to function as a telephone. Next, we have to address the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi scanning issue. In your settings, even if your Wi-Fi is toggled off in the control center, your phone may still be scanning in the background to improve location accuracy. You need to find the specific toggle for Wi-Fi scanning and Bluetooth scanning and disable them. This prevents your phone from pinging every router and beacon you walk past. In 2026, retail stores are filled with tiny Bluetooth beacons hidden in the shelving. When you walk past the cereal aisle, the beacon pings your phone, and the store's app records exactly how long you stood in front of the organic granola. By disabling scanning, You effectively put an invisibility cloak over your device as you move through physical spaces. But what about the apps you actually need to use, like maps or ride-sharing services? This is where precise location comes into play. Most modern phones now allow you to choose between precise and approximate location. For a weather app, approximate location, which gives a radius of a few miles, is more than enough. Never give an app precise location unless it is absolutely essential for its primary function, like a navigation app while you are driving. Furthermore, always select while using the app rather than always. The always setting is a license for the company to track you while the phone is in your pocket and you are fast asleep. In 2026, the move toward privacy-conscious computing is a move toward intentionality. You should be the one who decides when the tracking starts and when it stops. We also have to talk about the virtual private network, or VPN trap. Many people think that using a VPN hides their location, while a VPN hides your IP address. It does absolutely nothing to stop GPS or sensor-based tracking. If an app has permission to access your GPS, it doesn't care what your IP address is. It sees your latitude and longitude directly from the chip. To truly hide your location from the network level, you need to address the DNS, or domain name system, requests your phone makes. In 2026, advanced users are using encrypted DNS services that block known tracking domains at the source. It's like having a bouncer for your internet connection that refuses to let the tracking packets leave the building. The institutional church of the tech world often argues that this tracking is for our benefit. They say it makes ads more relevant and services more convenient. But the data the church of big tech hides is the frequency of mission creep. What starts as a tool to show you the nearest coffee shop ends up being sold to insurance companies who want to see if you spend too much time at fast food restaurants, which could eventually impact your premiums. We are seeing a record shift in 2026 where your physical behavior is becoming a factor in your creditworthiness. This is the ultimate danger of the location data industry. It creates a world where you are judged by a machine based on where you stand. If you are interested in computer knowledge, you should look into the concept of gopher or mock locations. On some devices, you can set up a developer mode that allows you to feed the phone's operating system a fake location. This can be used to confuse the trackers, but it is a cat and mouse game. The more robust solution is to use a privacy-focused operating system or a phone with physical kill switches for the sensors. While these are still niche in 2026, their popularity is growing as people realize the standard consumer devices are built to be surveillance tools first and communication tools second. Another hidden vulnerability is your photo metadata. Every time you take a picture, your phone embeds the exact GPS coordinates into the image file. If you post that photo on social media or send it in a message, you are giving away your location history in high definition. You need to go into your camera settings and disable location tags or save location. If you have a library of thousands of photos, there are tools available in 2026 that can scrub the EXIF data from your entire library at once. This prevents a stranger from downloading a photo of your cat and instantly knowing the address of your apartment. We also have to consider the role of our cell service providers. Your carrier always knows your location to within a few hundred yards because your phone has to be connected to a cell tower to work. In 2026, carriers have become massive players in the data brokerage game. They sell anonymized heat maps of user movement to advertisers and real estate developers. To combat this, you should log into your carrier's web portal and look for privacy choices or data sharing settings. Often, they have an opt-out for what they call relevant advertising or site insights. It won't stop the tower tracking. Only turning off the phone or using airplane mode can do that, but it prevents them from legally selling your specific movement data to third parties. The record numbers of people moving toward de-Googled phones or Linux-based mobile devices in 2026 is a signal that the average user is waking up. They are tired of being the product. They are tired of the exhaustion that comes with knowing they are being watched. This isn't just about avoiding ads. It's about reclaiming the right to move through the world without being a data points on a spreadsheet, or a date without that event being recorded in a permanent digital ledger owned by a corporation. One of the most effective ways to see who is tracking you is to use a privacy report tool. Many phones now have a built-in app privacy report that shows you exactly how many times an app has accessed your location in the last 7 days. When people turn this on in 2026, they are often horrified to see that a simple game or a social media app has requested their location thousands of times. This transparency is the first step toward change. Once you see the scale of the intrusion, the desire to stop it becomes a priority. Delete the apps that are overreaching. For every popular app that tracks you, there is usually a privacy-focused alternative that does the same thing without the surveillance. There is also the matter of cross-device tracking. In 2026, your phone doesn't just track you, it communicates with other devices in your house. If your phone knows where you are and your smart TV knows what you are watching, those two pieces of data are linked to create a hyper-detailed profile of your private life. To stop this, you should disable local network access for any app that doesn't strictly need it. There is no reason for a shopping app to be able to talk to your smart printer or your smart fridge. By siloing your apps, you prevent them from collaborating to build a more complete picture of your habits. The psychological impact of being tracked is something we are only starting to understand. When we know we are being watched, we change our behavior. We become more self-conscious, more predictable, and less likely to explore. Reclaiming your location privacy in 2026 is an act of reclaiming your spontaneity. It is about realizing that your movements have value and that you are the only one who should own that value. The industry relies on your ignorance and your convenience. By taking the time to adjust these settings, you are making a choice that convenience is not worth the cost of your autonomy. For the viewers who want to take it to the next level, you can look into Faraday bags. These are small pouches lined with metallic fabric that block all electromagnetic signals. When you put your phone in the bag, it is truly off the grid. No towers, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth. In 2026, people are using these for sensitive meetings or simply when they want to have a truly private evening. It is the only way to be 100% sure that the silent broadcast from your pocket has finally been hushed. The data brokerage industry is a multi-billion-dollar machine that thrives in the shadows. They count on the fact that the settings are hard to find and the terms of service are impossible to read. But by following the steps we have discussed, auditing permissions, disabling system-level tracking, scrubbing metadata, and opting out of carrier sharing, you are essentially cutting the fuel lines to that machine. You are becoming a low-value target because your data is no longer easy to harvest. In the digital age, being a difficult target is the best form of security. We are living through a massive transition in how we think about the public and private spheres. In the past, the street was public and the home was private. But in 2026, the digital reach of corporations has brought the public sphere into our pockets and our bedrooms. The phone is the bridge that allowed this to happen. By securing your location data, you are rebuilding the wall between your personal life and the commercial interests that want to capitalize on it. This is a battle for the integrity of our personal space. As we look toward the future of computer knowledge and mobile technology, we should demand privacy by design. We should support manufacturers and developers who prioritize user agency over ad revenue. The record numbers of Americans leaving traditional Christianity in 2026, as we discussed before, is part of a larger trend of seeking authenticity and escaping institutional control. Reclaiming your location is just another facet of that same search for freedom. It's about deciding that you are not a data set to be managed, but a person with the right to wander. The technology is powerful, but it is not invincible. It relies on the permissions we grant and the habits we keep. Check your phone today. Look at the privacy report. See how many times those 3,000 companies have pinged your pocket in the last 24 hours. Then, take the 10 minutes to shut the doors. Turn off the background scanning, revoke the unnecessary permissions, and clear the significant locations. You will find that your phone still works perfectly. Your battery will likely last longer, and for the first time in a long time, you will be moving through the world on your own terms. The silent broadcast doesn't have to continue. You can choose to be the one who controls the signal. In 2026, knowledge is the only thing that stands between you and total surveillance. You now have that knowledge. Use it to protect your privacy, your peace, and your future. The world is a big place, and you deserve the right to explore it without a 3,000 company tail following you every step of the way. Stay sharp, stay secure, and keep your location to yourself. It is your life. Don't let a data broker live it for you. The journey to privacy starts with a few clicks, but the destination is a life lived with true independence. Take those steps today, and don't look back. You have better things to do than be a data point on a server in a basement somewhere. Go back to being the person in the real world. The machine can only track what you allow it to see. It's time to stop giving it a front row seat to your every move. Reclaim your space, reclaim your story, and keep your coordinates your own. That is the new standard of digital freedom in 2026, and it starts with the device currently in your hand.